hope you enjoyed my craziness today. Just trying to have a little fun with it. It does make me feel like I'm going crazy sometimes, though. I don't know about you guys, but my roommate's been very patient. I've got boxes and all over the living room and gear everywhere and Amazon boxes, and yeah, it's kind of taken over my house right now. But I'm making a lot of progress and got a lot of new stuff the last few days, and I still have my sleeping bag and tent coming hopefully next week, maybe another week. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but I will reveal the results of those and what I'm getting when I do my final gear video. And it shouldn't be too long. I just about have everything. I still have a few more items coming, actually quite a few coming this next week, but got a lot done today, and went through a lot of my gear. I've got my gear weight down, my base weight, not including what I'm taking in the CRS, about 13.61 pounds. I'm happy with that. That's including all the stuff that I haven't got yet, you know, but I already know the weight of them when I'm getting, so that feels good. I'm happy with that. I can live with that. And that's including all of my video equipment too, and I don't know that everybody includes those items in their base weight, but I figure I'm carrying it. That's the actual weight I'm going to be carrying, even whether it's on my body or not. So I added in like my cell phone and the other equipment that I'm using that goes with it, which doesn't weigh that much, but you know, it's a little out of extra weight too. So anywhere I'm right about 13.5 pounds. As soon as I get the rest of my gear in, my plan is to go do at least one shakedown hike where I'm gonna camp overnight. I'm waiting for the snow to melt. I don't really want to go out in the weather. It's been horrible here, so it is starting to melt though, so I think in another week, unless we get more, hopefully we'll be back to normal here in Washington. And it's really unusual for us to get this much snow. It only happens, I don't know, like every 5 years or so typically. But anyway, I want to get out and test out my tent, my sleeping bag and pad especially. Those are the three main items that I want to make sure I'm comfortable with. I have blown up my air mattress and just laid on it, and it was comfortable. It took a while to blow it up, so that was a little discouraging. I think it takes twice as many breaths as the one I have now. So, but other than that, I mean, it was really comfortable right off the get-go. And but anyway, yeah, I'm curious to get more comfortable. I don't know, just making sure I can take down and set up my tent fairly quickly. I've been setting up tents my whole life, so I'm not too worried about it. Usually I can figure them out, and I've watched some videos on the one I'm getting, so I don't think it's going to be too bad. But you know, just packing everything up in my pack, going for a hike, being able to take everything out of my pack and set up camp, eat a meal, sleep, you know, out there at night, and then be packing everything back up. Typically it's wet here, so it'll be good practice for me learning how to do that without getting everything wet. And most of the other gear I feel pretty comfortable with. I mean, I haven't tried my backpacking stove yet, but I've used the other one I have quite a bit, so I mean, it's not that complicated. I think the biggest learning curve for me right now is my recording equipment. I got a new phone this week, so and learning how to edit videos on my phone. I'm switching from, I've been using Shortcut, and I'll be switching to iMovie, I believe, so I need to learn that and how to edit and download and do everything on my phone instead of the computer. So, and I've got a new microphone and some new lenses, so I'll be practicing with those, and so you'll see me experimenting with some of those in my next videos. One other update, so I had originally posted a video on my gear and what I still needed, and had posted a Patreon account and then my gear list. I will be I've been updating those as I go along, but I've gotten most of the gear I needed. There's just a few items left that I still need to get, and little things like a pillow and some mittens, and I don't remember what else, maybe a beanie, but nothing major. I've gotten most of the major stuff. But what I've found is that most of my family and friends don't know what Patreon is. And so I've decided to start a GoFundMe account. I put the link underneath this video. Please check it out. If you can donate, that'd be great. If you can't, please share it if you don't mind. The more people it gets out to, the better chances I have it being able to get some support for my days on the trail. So, you know, I was able to use some money I had coming in from a retirement account and get all my gear, which wasn't cheap. You know, it was a few $1,000s to get everything I needed, and just to pay the bills that I needed to before I went, you know, to file my taxes and subscriptions to things, and, you know, it's just a lot of different little things that need to be done, you know, pay for my train and my bus for transportation, and my resupply boxes. So anyway, I've started a GoFundMe account, and to help support the funds I need while I'm hiking. I am a little bit short, so I do have possibly another income coming in before I leave, but it's not a for sure thing, so I don't want to have to count on that. And it's not cheap. I've got my bills down to a, you know, fairly reasonable amount while I'm gone. Basically, I have to pay half my housing cost and my monthly phone bill, a couple other little things, but I've got it down pretty cheap. So I think I can live off, you know, $1,000 a month between those bills, lodging on occasion, and food, and then the additional gear that I'll need, or, you know, repairing gear on the trail, you know, extra shoes and socks and those kind of things. So yeah, so anyway, I put the link there, and I haven't got a lot of mileage in this week. The weather's been crappy. Mainly my walking has been running errands in town. So I've had to walk and ride the bus. I finally got my vehicle out of the driveway yesterday, thank God. But anyway, I've probably gotten, I don't know, maybe 10 miles total in all week. So not as much as the week before. I'm kind of focused more on gear this week. But starting again this next week, I will be hopefully being able to get out and get some more hikes in. Now that I can drive again, it's going to make a big difference. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Love to hear your comments and feedback on what you see, and if you have questions, you know, about my gear. I had one person ask in my last video, I left a comment about if I was if I knew how to use an ice axe, you know, and if I planned on learning how to do that before I went. And that's a great question. I've watched a lot of videos, but, you know, watching it and doing it is two different things. So now that I have my ice axe, I do plan on trying to find somebody locally that will that has the skills, you know, to teach me some, you know, basic mountaineering skills and self-arrest, and, you know, just even walking with the ice axe. That's one of the main things I want it for, is just being able to dig it into, you know, the compacted snow and ice, to make sure I have a good support um, as I'm walking on, you know, dangerous places. So, you know, and just being able to get out there and use my micro spikes too and feel more comfortable with them, I think it's going to be helpful. I think I still have a lot of fears, you know, definitely about the Sierras, but I know I will feel more comfortable if I get some more experience. So I believe our Olympic National Park is going to be opening. They might even be opening this weekend. So I just need to be able to get up there and then have somebody that has some experience and that's willing to do some training with me. So keep the questions coming, and if you have any comments about any of the gear you've seen today. One of the things somebody might have a question about is my sleeping bag that I had on the table, and it's not the sleeping bag I'm taking. I just put it in there. That's the one I'd been using. It's an Outdoor Vitals sleeping bag. It's a 30-degree bag. It's a nice sleeping bag. I mean, it was really cheap, like $50, I think, maybe even less than that. It's been a great one for summer sleeping bag, but it's definitely not warm enough for this trip. But I would definitely take it again up here in the Olympics in the summer. It did great. And it's pretty lightweight. But anyway, I do have a new sleeping bag coming. So, all right, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon.